Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, when I start this lesson off by giving all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to all the brothers who are fervently preaching the word in sincerity and in faith. And Shalom to all the sincere believers. Now, this lesson is going to be based on this article where the headline reads, "Significant Storm Heading Toward Middle East Amid Iran War Forecast Show." So basically, not only is there a war happening out there, but now they're going to have a storm to deal with. So this is more evidence that the hits just keep coming. More evidence that we're in the last days and the Lord is increasing his judgments upon the earth. So through the Spirit, I'm going to read this article, get some precepts, and the Lord's will you're edified. It says widespread flooding, rains, dust storms, and tornadoes are possible. It says a significant storm will move through the Middle East this week where major combat operations are taking place, with impacts expected from Israel to Qatar to Iran, forecasts show. While storms occasionally move through this region, this storm appears to be quite anomalous, with the chances for widespread flooding, rains, and dust storms, and severe weather, including brief tornadoes. Rain and thunderstorms will enter Israel and Lebanon during the day on Wednesday. The storms should remain fairly scattered, but by Thursday the storm begins to organize as it moves across the region, with significant impacts extending from Syria and further south into the Arabian Peninsula. Impacts from the peak of the storm will arrive in parts of Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait, the United Arab Emirates, and Iran on Thursday and will last into Friday. The main impacts will be severe thunderstorms, including the risk for tornadoes, hail, and damaging winds over 60 miles per hour. The storms will also bring flash flooding, possibly over 1 inch of rain in some locations that could cause urban flooding in places like Dubai and Abu Dhabi. So Dubai typically receives 3.12 inches of rain per year on average, according to the World Meteorological Organization. Close to an inch or more of rain would be significant. There is the potential for higher amounts of rain in the region, which could bring isolated significant impacts. Additionally, haboobs could roll across the Arabian desert, reducing visibility and bringing along gusty winds. Some of these weather threats will reach into Iran, where some of the mountainous regions of the country might see some snow. Said it will take until Saturday for this entire storm to clear the region. Says military strikes have been taking place in Iran and surrounding regions since February 28th, including massive joint U.S.-Israeli strikes targeting military and government sites and retaliatory strikes by Iran. Yeah, so a lot is going on out there, and the Lord is just making it worse. 2 Ezra 8:50, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. And we see that. We see the many great miseries taking place. The wars, the cost of living increasing, the storms, the tempests, the fires, the earthquakes, the division amongst the people, the love of many waxing cold. Just a lot of different things that are going to culminate into all-out chaos in the world. And the Heavenly Father is the one setting all of this in motion. And out there in the quote-unquote Middle East, which is just Western Asia, right now, there's this war happening between the US, Israel, and Iran. There's been a lot of death, a lot of destruction, and now the Lord is going to add to it with his storms. Isaiah 29:6, Thou shalt be visited of the Lord Yahweh of hosts with thunder, and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire. And like that article said, tornadoes, rain, flooding, hail, those are some of the things that may take place out there in the quote unquote Middle East in the midst of this war that's taking place. Isaiah 28:2, Behold, the Lord hath a mighty and strong one, which has a tempest of hail and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing shall cast down to the earth with the hand. And depending on how severe and intense that storm is, it could cause even more destruction. And it could cause flooding, which could kill people, depending on how severe the flooding is. But this just proves that it really is just one thing after another. Like those people have enough to deal with the whole war going on. And now the Lord is just adding more. Salakia. Psalms 83:14, As the fire burneth a wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. Verse 15, So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. And clearly that's what the Lord is doing. And anybody that's been paying attention can see that these storms and tempests, regardless of where they happen, they are intensifying. And they're happening a lot more frequently. Whether it's here in the US or anywhere else. Hawaii is a current example of that because the Lord has been hitting Hawaii with a lot of storms and tempests, and there's been a lot of flooding out there and a lot of destruction on the islands. But these are all signs that we are in the last days. The scriptures let us know what would be happening in these last days. 2 Timothy 3:1, This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. And when you look up the definition of perilous, it means full of danger or risk. It also means hazardous, unsafe, dangerous, hard to bear times. And things are getting increasingly intense and harder to bear because the Lord is just pouring out more and more judgment upon the earth. And there's hardly any breaks in between. And this is exactly what the men of the Lord, starting of course with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, have been prophesying about. And a lot of people disregarded those warnings. And now we're living in that time where those warnings are manifesting. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up here. In closing, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakudash, the Wadi Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to all the brothers who are fervently preaching the word in sincerity and in faith. And shalom to all the sincere believers, which includes the sisters and all the scattered Israelites who are amongst these other nations and look like these other nations. Specifically, the Israelites who are of the hopeful elect amongst these other nations. I hope you all stay strong, stay safe, stay fervent, stay circumspect, stay prayed up, and Adawan Ratazah. Till next time, Shalom.